Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Lily of the Valley bundle, the Valley in Bloom designer series paper, and then it's kind of a suite. I didn't find the actual embellishments that I wanted to put with this. There's some really pretty shiny bling, and I know I bought them. I looked on my order and I can't find them. So we will pretend that we have some really pretty shiny bling, but we have plenty of other adorable bling like these little butterflies and things like that that we can put on there. So just fair warning on that. Then I also wanted to talk about, we're going to use this will be new in May also, the Stampin' Up! White gel pen. So we're going to use that as well. It's just a normal, like a gel pen, but it is Stampin' Up! Brand. It seemed to work pretty well to sign things on dark paper, so that's always nice. And let me go ahead and show you a couple of things with the paper. So this is one of the patterns. It has a nice kind of array of color. They say that the colors in this are Darling Duckling, which, yeah, I mean, the back side of it is pretty aggressive yellow. But the colors I would use would be the ones on this side. And this is our Granny Apple Green, the Garden Green, the new Blush, Barely Blush, and they say that there's also beige, so probably so. And then let's see here. This one, I think this one is so pretty. In the background, you can see kind of a pool party colored little square behind each one. And then the patterned plaid on the back it's supposed to be, they say it's Coastal Cabana. And I have some Coastal Cabana here that I've cut out. This is using some of the Winnie the Pooh stuff. I'm not going to worry about telling you the names of all these things because you can't buy them yet. But here you can see it with the pool party, and here you can see it with the Coastal Cabana. Same thing on the other side. You can just kind of, I feel like it's pool party. It may have more green in it than pool party, but I do feel like it is very light and so cute. Okay, so that's another pattern. Then we also have this pattern, which is one of the large ones like people use for scrapbooking, but these are great for card makers because you can put something over here and then some ribbon and a sentiment, and it makes a really quick and easy card. The back side of it is white and basic beige, so just a plain little plaid. Then, and like this is also in that same one, so you can see that, you know, it would be put together like this. And this is a corner, so it has lots of great color. Then let's see here. Can't find the rest of them. Oh, this pattern. One of them is this green, and the back side is a beige diamond. Yeah. And then this one is a green, like little sprigs, and the backside is the Darling Duckling. So I think I've shown you those now. There's a lot of variety there. So that'll be what we kind of base our color scheme on for the most part. And then I've done a little bit here that I wanted to talk about. I've gone through and done a lot of stamping ahead of time. I have a blank sheet here though, so I can show you. But I wanted to talk about the design that I had last time for a class and using it with this same batch of papers and colors, I think would be pretty also. This is what I was discussing. We looked at this recently, and what you do with this card is you glue it down here and here, and then you can add embellishments behind and front, and it makes it look like a little stage. I'm going to put a piece here. Well, all right, a piece here, and I'm going to put a piece, little bit there, a little bit here, and a little bit there. Okay, then, so across the bottom, we're going to put the green, and then across the top, we'll put the pool party, like that. So then you can see how it kind of stands up and makes a little stage for your card. And then I cut this to be on the inside here. So there you can see what I was kind of thinking. It just kind of gives it a little bit of cuteness. Now you could put one of these designs. You know, put this on the side, some of these little designed things like this. Now the stamp set, I guess I should put over here so you can see it, has this large lily of the valley and also the small lily of the valley. So the small one could be cute on here like this. And the large one also, in addition to having the die cuts that cut out the stamp, like this one, it also has a separate die that cuts out its own. So that's kind of what I was thinking could be pretty on this. I should have used the garden green across the bottom. That might have given it a little more contrast. But there you can see that, and then you can just kind of let that go into the screen here where you can see the little stage. And then you could put this over the top and cut these guys off and glue them down. It's kind of what I imagine. This is the blush, the Barely Blush. Typically, Lily of the Valley, it's May's birth flower, you know, like if it's your month of your flower. It comes in white and a light pink. So this is kind of perfect for the Barely Blush. And you could put this card together like this, add some sentiments. Now I wanted to talk about those real quick. They have "So grateful for you." Happy birthday to one of the nicest people I know. And to the nicest people I know is so tiny, so cute. Happy for you, and to a forever kind of friend. So those sentiments are a great size to use for this card. So let's go ahead, and I've got this from the Stylish Shapes, and I'm just going to do the happy birthday, twink, and put it on there. And with this one, I think I want to use the Granny Apple Green. So I'm just gonna, it may not be perfect the first time because I haven't stamped with these yet. So I'm just gonna put it right on here, try to get it even left to right and even top to bottom. That looks like it got a little high, but I think that's fine. So there you can see the happy birthday. Then I might put this right down under here, and that would just make a cute little vignette for your card and make it an easy to complete little design. All right, so now let's use the papers and the colors that are in the paper is what I'm trying to say. So let's kind of think about this one. I played with this a little bit. This is one of the other new designs, and it could be really pretty to put this like this and then put our little Lily of the Valley here on this, and then put your sentiment down here. A smaller happy birthday or something like that. A thank you maybe, and that would be super cute. Now, one good thing that I was going to mention about our new ink. This is the Basic Black, and it is a hybrid ink pad, which means you're supposed to be able to stamp and then color with both the blends and with our water-based ink. So we're going to give that a try, see what we think, see if we think it works. I have let it sit for a second because I know absolutely if you don't let it sit, it will not work, because I have tried that. But I've got my light and dark Granny Apple Green blends here. So I'm just going to gently go over the leaves here. And I'll go back in a second with my darker color. Just kind of add a little bit of texture, maybe under the bottom. There we go. And then because I was silly and forgot to order the blends to go with these new colors, they were available. I just completely spaced on ordering them. I'm going to use a blender pen or something here, whatever I find first, and color with it, and just kind of test this what Stampin' Up! Has said here and see if it's kind of true. So, as soon as I find what I'm looking for, there we go. I had it hidden by my glue over to the side. All right, so you can with these press into the, you know, these have the new linen look, or, you know, new old. That's what Stampin' Up! Used to have. And you can just press it gently against the lid and then you have something to use to color. So there you can see me just kind of coloring with the Blush Blossom ink. Now I am not rubbing it all over the black. I'm not necessarily avoiding the black, but I'm not just trying to smear it. So, and you can see that there is, or you can't see probably, but there is a little bit of gray showing up on my ink pad lid. And this has been at least 10 minutes since I did this. But overall, it worked really well. And it's much easier than trying to keep a stays-on pad and a memento pad on your desk. So there you can see that's so sweet. And probably this would look better against white. I don't know, maybe you think, maybe you don't think. And then I also considered doing this. I cut this out of both of the papers because since our card base is the pink, I thought it might look nicer if our outer die cut was also the Barely Blush. So you can see that little design. Then I just wanted to talk about what we would do with the bigger piece. Now I could choose any one of these. They're all very pretty. There's this, I really like this one. At the back of it is a Darling Duckling, but that is a kind of an aggressive print, but it's still really pretty. And so I think it would look good on an aggressive colored background. So there's that. And then, just one second. I was considering, I kind of thought, what about the blue? But I really don't think this one has enough color in it. This one would look great. And it, of course, no problem to put the little guy on there, but it might also be pretty to put our little stem here and then our leaves here. So for these, I stamped the leaves in Garden Green and then stamped, it has a solid image stamp that I stamped using the Granny Apple Green to fill in. And then I used the Granny Apple Green to stamp this. So you could color those pink and it would be super cute. But I also did this on soft seafoam stamped in Granny Apple Green. And so what I wanted to do with this was just highlight it with the pen. And this could take all night, but I'm gonna do just 6 or 8 of them and then hold it up for you to see. I probably need to do a little better job than I am doing because I think I need to outline the outside so that I don't go over the edges any. But this is a good juicy pen and it is really making a pretty, pretty white pop with these little bells that are on the Lily of the Valley. And then once you're finished with it, you can always go back and be like, oh, I didn't get that corner and put a little more in it. So let me kind of punch that through there. But I'm hoping you can see that those are white and those are not white. I've colored these and it makes a nice contrast. So I was kind of thinking that could be really pretty on there as well. You might want to stamp these also on green just to give them a little more continuity. But let me go ahead and stamp these because I think they are so sweet. Stamp them on my white just to kind of show you how I think it is really simple to stamp these. Okay, so I'm going to stamp these guys, our little bells, our flowers, in Granny Apple Green. And I did not think that it was difficult to line up the die cuts with them at all. I thought that was really simple. Okay, so there you can see that that's stamped really neatly. And then I'm going to move my ink and I'm going to stamp these leaves in my Garden Green. And you would cut these out kind of at the same time that you cut these out. And that would, you know, that's why I'm putting them on the same paper. So then now I'm taking this filler leaf, and if it doesn't line up the first time, that means that you probably just need to turn the stamp around. Because like earlier I was doing this and I was like, well, that doesn't really line up very well. Well, it was because I had it going this way. Maybe it was what I just did that was wrong. But anyway, if it seems like it's not quite right, it's easy to go ahead and flip it around and get it a little better in its lineup. So there you can see those guys. And so that would be super simple and easy to get things done. Now, I also wanted to kind of show you, I do think you can see this white on white. And I think it's worth doing because it gives it a little shiny, not that these flowers are shiny, but it gives it a little more attention to detail. And so it's just kind of pretty and sweet. Let's see here if you can see the shine on there. That's really pretty. One thing I did forget, this has some paper with it that is white embossed, and it's like, has the lilies of the valley, has some other designs, and you would go over it and do it like an embossed resist, which I love an embossed resist. So I meant to use that as one of my backgrounds, and I just left it. So I totally forgot. So silly on that. But I think you can see here how easy this set is to use and how simple it is to tuck in some details and make it really pretty. Now, if I were going to finish this card right now, I think the most important thing for me, not everyone is the same, but the most important thing for me to have on it would be some ribbon, because I do love some ribbon on a flower card. So I'm going to try to get that loose, and I would probably make a bow because, you know, you can't help but make a bow sometimes. And the new In Color ribbon is so easy to make bows with. So pretty. Okay. I'm just going to cut the ends. I don't know if I got those even or not. Pop those on there. And then one thing I think would be really cute is to put some of these butterflies on there. The white ones would be pretty, but so would the pink ones. You put them right directly on the little background piece, and I think that is very sweet. And to me, I like using all the same color on one, as if they're kind of a little family or some friends that are just all the same kind of butterfly. Doesn't necessarily have to be, of course, but I just think this is such a simple and easy design to use. I forgot to mention this one. You can put this behind for a little extra texture. This is part of the thing, and I think this would be useful for a lot of different things, and depending on what color, you know, what other things you might be using, this would be great in a lot of different colors, just as a background, an extra background piece behind whatever your main image is. I would start it down here and have it under there, you know, of course. But anyway, I forgot to mention that because that is really cute. It also has these that it cuts out, these large ones, and I should have shown you that as well. It'd be really easy to just put these larger ones over the green, and then it's completely covered. And those are pretty simple to do, and these are so nice and large. They just look really sweet. Now, of course, I've mentioned we could cut these across the top and put them on here the exact same size, but the larger could be easier to use. So I appreciate you all watching, and I hope that you have a great and stampy weekend. Bye-bye.